And two of the other things which I do feel is quite unique. When you look at the Android phones, which I think some of the iPhone users can correlate, is when you are running an application, you double tap on the home button and you can pause that application and you can switch between different apps. So one of the other key things which they have introduced right now is that if you're watching a video or a clip or a photo and you get a text message, you have the ability to interact with multiple applications together. So you can continue watching the video and obviously go on to the message and then send a message and then go back to the video again. So it's bringing a little bit of multitasking within applications which are memory intensive, and I think to a certain extent showcasing the capability of the phone, as you rightly said, because of the RAM and the power usage of the processor. Two other things which they've introduced, which I think have already been there. So for example, AirPlay, which is something which is patented or is a name which is used by iPhone users. So if you have an iPhone and you have an Apple TV or you have an iPad, what you can do is you can use the AirPlay app and then you can watch that particular photo onto a bigger screen or that video onto a tablet or things like that. And that is what they've also introduced on the phone, which is called the All Share Cast. One of the other things which I think I missed out initially was that they've introduced, so for example, the iPhone has a Siri, which is a voice assistant. They've introduced something called the S-Voice, the Galaxy, Samsung S-Voice or whatever they call it. And the phone then has the ability you have the ability to talk to the phone. That means you can say, okay, do this appointment, cancel that appointment, open that task or open that application and things like that. So nothing new, but some of the key things that we did see, which I saw on the promotional video, was one of the things that if you're typing a text message and you suddenly decide that you want to call, so you don't need to press the call button or dial that number, just lift your phone and bring it to your ear. So at a distance wherein it activates a particular sensor. So the phone goes off, that means you want to talk. So the person that you're messaging, you can straight away dial that person. So that is something new. The second feature which I did feel is a bit new is that they've introduced something called Buddy Photo Share. That means if you're seeing a number of photos and if you tag those photos with your friends, the next time when you look at the photo album or the next time when you see or use that application, you will be able to see whether your friends are online, offline, what they are doing, and the news feeds and everything start coming in. And this is a feature which basically allows you to create group profiles, and then at a touch you can start sharing things instantly with that user.
I don't know whether it was this particular model that I read about, that once you've taken a few pictures and tagged them, for example, if you'd taken a few pictures of me and tagged them as this is Usman, the next time you took a picture it would automatically know that that's me.
That's you, that's correct.
And then obviously if you'd uploaded it, it'd automatically tell me that there's a new picture of you, etc.
Absolutely. I think what you've said is right. And Apple users who've used iPhoto over the years can correlate to this, is because if you keep taking a lot of pictures and you keep uploading that to your photo library, which is the iPhoto on Macs, if you name or recognize a face once, chances are that the software has an intelligent algorithm in them that it is able to recognize the same faces. Obviously, it doesn't recognize that with 100% accuracy, but that is something which is already...
It can give you a suggestion at least, is this whoever?
This is Usman, yeah. So it is again something not new, but yes, Apple users have seen it, but getting to get that application onto a phone as against something which is on a desktop experience or a laptop experience is, again, I think I would say it's something new, but not new in terms of the overall concept behind the technology. And I think one of the other things which definitely obviously catches your attention is they've built in something quite intelligent. And the reason why I say is intelligent because we haven't seen the actual phone, and we can go by what is being given across on their website or written on blogs currently, is that the brightness of the screen actually adjusts to the type of application that you're using on the phone. So for example, if you pick up the phone after a while, then the phone gives you a certain amount of alert, maybe a vibrate signal or a sound signal to let you know that there are a number of missed calls and things like that, which is, I would say, a notification center just on the iPhone. For example, you bring in a notification center and it shows you the number of missed calls, messages, emails, all that stuff. Nothing new there again. But the key thing was that if it is related to the fact that you have I think I totally forgot what I was saying, but it is related to the fact that if you look at the phone and you've missed out something, then the phone has the ability to kind of interact with you and remind you gently that, okay, this is something that you missed out on. And the brightness of the screen. So for example, if you're reading a book, for example, something which is downloaded onto your phone, the brightness of the screen kind of adjusts to what you're actually seeing on the screen. If you're using a game, the screen suddenly goes on to a little higher intensity, or it becomes more bright. If you're out and about, the screen obviously dims in terms of brightness. Again, something which is not new, but has been kind of tweaked, I think, to make an optimum use when you're using certain types of applications or when you're in that environment. And that, again, I think is a good add-on feature to get into a phone which has a good screen, an AMOLED screen, wherein the pictures, the words, the text, everything is pinch sharp, and the brightness of the screen adjusts to give you the ambient light which is required actually when you're using that application. So a couple of other features, but obviously it's an LTE phone, so wherever applicable, as a feature, you'll have download speeds of between 30 to 60 megabytes per second, but hopefully in countries wherein LTE as a technology has been introduced, you'll get to see that.
So obviously, as soon as this phone's out, straight away the comparisons are going to be out, obviously with the iPhone, and everyone knows that is something in the offing, probably towards the end of the year as well, which obviously as soon as it comes into our hands, we will be able to share that information. If there's any inside information that we get, we'll be able to share that with you as well. Probably, I think next week we will do a little bit about the BB10, which is the new operating software which BlackBerry, basically RIM, are trying to introduce to try to compete with what's out there at the moment. Obviously, all of this new technology, especially Samsung and Apple, they have been left behind. Raman was telling us about a new CEO's come into place, and it seems as though this BB10 is his brainchild.
Well, I think in a way I would say yes. He's been brought in, and there has been a management change. Obviously, we had that BlackBerry outage wherein the BlackBerry was down. The playbook has not performed quite well, and the management at BlackBerry has been there for a good number of years. So it was wherein they are losing out. They are losing out to the Apples and the Samsung in the world. So they are no longer the third key player in the market. So when you look at all that, I think the change which has been brought about, and obviously some of the features that they're introducing in the BB10, we'll discuss that. And those are exciting things. They are looking at bringing something new to the table, which is something which is non-existent in the iPhone, non-existent in the Android. And again, BlackBerry, if they have to gain market share again, have to come back, they have to introduce not just the hardware, but a hardware which goes along and complements the software. We will give you a bit more detail of the new features in next week's show. We've not got much time left. Can you give us a little insight on what we can expect next week? I think we'll definitely be doing a review of some of the new phones which have been released in the market, specifically from HTC. We won't be getting our hands on to the Galaxy S3, keeping in mind it's due for launch only on the 29th, but we'll see if we can get hold of one. And we will come back to the demo of creating a home cinema system in home using a simple projector, and that is a live demo that we will do as we promised. Right, so lots to look forward to. Obviously, we're back. If you want to interact with us, you can do so on our website, www.dmdigitaltv.co.uk. You can ask us questions, etc., etc. Email us. All the information is there. Multiple ways where you can get in contact with us. Any of your queries will be answered. So that's all we've got time for this week. Make sure you join us next week for the new phone demos, and we'll see you then. Thank you very much for your time. Take care. Goodbye.